So I think today, I was wondering if you guys want to run through just a almost like a crit session. So the idea is that I'm looking into a little bit of a post or whatever around feedback, and just having worked with clients and even within our team itself and things like that, like giving feedback on certain design work or certain features or approaches or whatever. It's kind of a something that's kind of sensitive on the one hand, but you have to be honest. So there's that whole thing around how do you approach it and things like that. And to kind of link on to that, I thought it would be fun if we kind of did a session where we look at some good and bad UX and UI designs, and we kind of just approach it like we would some of our projects, like on the team itself, and um, to see what comes out of that, and if we had to communicate that to a client or whatever, like how would we approach something like that. So it's really an open conversation. I just think it's a nice kind of exercise to do as well, and hopefully we learn some cool things about the UX, or how to do it or how not to do it, and then also around how to approach it when we are speaking to clients and or fellow designers. So yeah, so I thought maybe you guys threw in some links and stuff that you thought would be cool to look at. So maybe we can grab a few of those. Skulk, are you going to share your screen? How do you want to do it? There are a
Yeah.
few in that list.
Cool. Let me grab some.
Yeah, I mean, there's the usual suspects, right? Like, I mean, Airbnb and those kinds of platforms where we look at them constantly for some inspiration.
Mm.
They've obviously done tons of user testing, and billions of dollars have been spent on it, and it's almost been tested. So we almost assume that those would be good ones to look at. So
Yeah.
what I'll do is
Got Airbnb.
yeah,
Got
open
Airbnb
Airbnb.
open for now.
Okay, cool.
Just share
Um,
my screen.
sure. Yeah, another one
Cool.
is I think Google Maps is a great one, where it's kind of a complex idea, right? But I think what they've done and how they've designed it and approached it is really good. Once again, open to comment. Maybe it really sucks in some places for you guys. I don't know. And then yeah, we can look at some of those other examples as well.
Ironically, speaking of Google Maps, before I forget, there was apparently Apple Maps has either just done an update or they're about to do an update, and there was some talk, or the blurb or description that I saw was that Apple Maps will finally be as good as Google Maps. And I saw that, I'm like, I didn't know that there was such a beef, to be honest. I mean, I just use Apple Maps because I think it's the only one that lets me lock my phone and it'll still show on
Yeah.
the phone screen. I don't have to open it to then go in while I'm driving. I'm like, oh, where am I going? But like beyond that, I don't know. So that might be something interesting once that drops to have a look at as well.
I
But
never use it.
before I forget,
Do you
Yeah, I
never
think-
use
Google
it?
Maps.
Which one, Diane? Apple Maps.
I use Google Maps all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Only
feel like
reason I use sorry, go for it.
no, I say the main reason why I use Google Maps is because Apple Maps isn't updated for South Africa. Like I think for overseas, it's great because it has all the tourist attractions and the 3D maps and all of the cool stuff. But it feels like when you use Google Maps, you can do a Google search and it goes straight from a search into the maps. You don't have to go to an external app. It doesn't feel like you're going to an external app with Google. It feels like you're going to just like a separate page on Google, but you're actually switching apps. That's how seamless it is, at least for me. And it just feels like I can trust Google Maps more than I can trust Apple Maps.
yeah, I agree.
So I mean, I've used Apple Maps here quite a lot because it works. Siri works well, so I can go Siri, go and then it works well like that. That's the one reason. The other reason is for a very simple little thing, and that's the way that Apple Maps talks to me. So when I'm driving, it goes, after these traffic lights, at the next one, turn left. So it's almost like
Ah,
it's
that's
almost
good.
like it's someone sitting next to me going,
Yeah,
okay,
well,
skip these, take the next one, and then go there. And I've realized that just by doing that and speaking in like almost like more human
It feels
way,
more natural. Yeah.
it feels more natural. It's like I don't have to think and look at the little picture
Yeah.
all the time in
Head
order to.
south comes to mind. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
As the crow flies, follow it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, Google, I find I take, and it's such a simple KPI for them to follow. It's like, how many times do people get lost using your app, a Maps app? And I take the wrong turn of constantly with Google just because of that little bit of almost preempting the next move that it doesn't do very well. Or,
That makes me.
yeah.
I remember when we moved to Cape Town, Zach, and we were driving to Cape Town city centre for the first time. We missed the off ramps like consistently and consecutively. Like we
Yeah.
would pass the off ramp, then take another off ramp to go back, and we miss it again because they're so close to one another, and the map just doesn't show you the actual off ramp.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. That reminds me of when you're trying to like troll someone who's driving. So if you're the nav and you go, hey, so you see this turn coming? Yeah, don't take that one. Or so the next so the next one, yeah, it's also not that one. And it feels like it just reminds me of that. But I prefer that to being like turn now, and I'm like in the far right lane. I'm like, well, I can't. So I mean, I could, but it would be interesting. So that I've actually never really experienced that, Marie, because I never have it talk. But I probably should. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, like that's changed my whole. Well, in the first place, I had to learn to drive on the other side of the road. Yeah, which was quite
True.
a adjustment. I'm like, oh, I need all the help I can get. Put all the apps on. So yeah, that was. But yeah, I mean, I use Google if I want to really get to a place specifically, like it's a specific restaurant name or a specific shop. I Google it first, and then I kind of take that. I would kind of take that sometimes and put it into Apple to get me there, right? But so I think it's for me. I'm using both constantly for two different things, almost in combination. So if you're saying that they're maybe being closer to each other, hopefully they keep the best of both. So yeah. Anyway, we've got Airbnb open, yeah.
I just noticed that there's an alien option here. The
Yes,
OMG
well,
and the thing.
OMG, yeah, that's
What?
I also saw it yesterday for the first time.
So these are all like
I was genuinely thinking, because of all like the alien stuff that's been happening recently, it's like, hey, we've got some great sites if you want to maybe get abducted or something. Genuinely, I thought that's what that was going to be, but
yeah, the text
know.
definitely helps contextualize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an app for that, Zach.
Probably. Yeah.
Wow, look at these. Oh my goodness.
That's pretty cool.
That is very cool. Wow.
this one is either flooded or a work of art.
That's the cheapest one too.
Yeah, it looks flooded, eh?
Nobody wants to
Oh no! What?
Is that
It's
like
okay. Does anyone want? Yeah, that has to be either that or maybe it's designed like that because it looks like windows and things are skew as well.
Wow.
It's interesting that they add the kilometers away as one of like the key points of information to have. Like, I don't know if that I would think that that's like quite high in the hierarchy.
I'd think it would be high if it was like close, like if it's in the same province or city, maybe, but if it's in another continent, maybe that's not as high, probably.
So this is the curated list, all right? So Scots
Yeah.
go right to the
Yeah.
top. Are the closest ones close to you? The
No,
top and the top of the list? No.
no,
Oh,
I'm not even signed in at this moment.
okay. Interesting. So if you go
But
to,
it's
for
interesting.
instance, the
It's
second
interesting
one
that it
from the
pulls up my location
Even though you're
immediately.
not signed in. Yeah.
Yeah, these ones are closer.
so there's no UFO craziness
Mhm.
close to you, I guess.
But then now there's no distance. It just shows you location.
No, but like
Very
look at
strange.
when I look at the UFO ones, there's one here in Stellenbosch as well. But it was further down the line. Here we go. Western Cape, South Africa.
It's like we know which country, and you'll recognize these place names. Maybe I don't.
Maybe.
That's weird.
No, but it's like nudged between Brazil and Chile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Between 6,000 kilometers away, then only a nice 86 quick walk, and then 9,000 after that.
That is strange. That is a bit weird.
It's an inconsistency, if anything.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, here we've got kilometers again. Looks like it's just that one page, actually.
It knows you live by the beach.
yeah. Yeah, you see, this is.
But no, this one's got both. That Greece one has got its own thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Sorry,
Maybe
Scott,
so.
did you accept cookies when you got onto this page?
They didn't ask me.
Maybe previously. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe previously. I have used Airbnb on this device before, so yeah probably.
Interesting.
Maybe it's like a parameters thing that when it's set up, if it has this, then this is what shows. If it doesn't, then this is what shows.
Yeah.
But then technically, location will always have
distance. Yeah.
Distance in a place. So I don't know.
Do you also think, well, if it knows you are staying in Cape Town, do you think they assume that you would want to travel out of Cape Town?
That's a good question.
Like, so if it's showing, you know what I mean? Like, it's maybe not going to show you the stuff right around, like, close to you. I would almost assume that. I've never used Airbnb really to stay in the city that I was in. Not really.
I would agree with that, but most of these have locations nearby. It's only
so
some
I'm
of
wondering
them
about
that have them super far away.
My icons are different.
Well, they're different to
I've
yours.
got containers instead of tiny homes.
That's interesting.
But the beach one is still Cape Town. It's not
don't worry about
beaches.
Yeah, they don't get a Durban beach. It's like doesn't count. No. Too much cola.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I get beaches close to here as well if I open it on my side.
If you got Cape Town, I'd be concerned.
Well, I don't know. That would actually make sense because I should have history in Cape Town, right? So maybe it would assume that I would want to go there. So, but I'm just seeing other beaches, yeah.
What I also thought was interesting was that when you were in the cityscapes one, Skulk, it instead of it showing distance or location, it gave a category. So it's like that piece of information below the name changes. So now this one is time. So this one is mountain and city views, mountain and pool views, and then the one that you were on before this one now showed added 8 weeks ago. Another completely different context.
So do you think it's contextual based on people who would look at cabins aren't necessarily close to cabins, so it'll give them kilometers? If you wanted to go to the beach, you would do it, your dates would be important because people who go on beach holidays generally do it around a specific time of the year,
Mm.
Yeah.
And
and
you probably
location.
won't go to another country for a beach. You'd go within your country to a beach.
Yeah, if you
I would
go for
imagine.
amazing views, you'll probably have to travel. No, never mind. I thought this would also have distance.
I suppose it's specific to the view you see.
Maybe, yeah.
Interesting.
Mine
Yeah.
has a
I
tab.
can't tell if I'm on board with it or not.
I know if Annette was on this call, she would go, no, keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Sure. For sure. But I wonder if they take, like, for instance, someone that's going to go and live in a cave. There's caves there. Maybe, there are different things. They probably have tons of user profiles, right? Like, someone that wants to go and live in a cave, probably not going to go. There's probably some other things that are important to them. Price, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Versus somebody that's going to look for I don't know what are the other ones here. I've got mansions as a
I've also got containers here.
containers or boats, houseboats, islands.
Oh wow, there's a lot of different ones. I didn't realize how many there were.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at this. Serene.
Grand
I've
pianos.
never seen this before.
Grand pianos. Really?
You can live in one. It's it's cheaper
It's
than
places that have one. Wow.
Because you do not travel without a grand
Yeah.
piano.
But like this is, they're really drilling down into the categories here. Usually you would have like 8, 10 categories, but here they've got something for everything. Just shows you how much or how many listings they actually have that they're able to do this.
Like yurts.
I've
This
also
is
got
mad.
them.
This is
Where's
very
yurts?
cool. I don't know, somewhere on the list.
Oh, here we go.
Somewhere.
Also Trilly, whatever that
Creative
is.
spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it truly?
Siri.
This bird tree and went crazy.
Yeah.
I do not trust it.
So,
Oh, campers.
look how cool this is.
I'm on board.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Everything else is terrible except for that first screen.
I can just browse Airbnb like
Okay, but branching off that, why could you browse Airbnb for hours at end? What makes it so nice to browse through for hours at end?
you're asking me?
Yep.
So I think it depends on the person, right? But I do think Airbnb has made a point of it, and I mean they're well known for this, right? That they've got a very high standard of the images and the properties and things that get hosted on the hosts that host on here. I mean, it's every property in the beginning, the two founders would go and photograph the properties for the people. That's how they got started. Because they found that, people just take these ugly shots, and that was like ruining the product. And they actually went and photographed them. So even when I don't know if you guys have been to the whole thing of hosting on Airbnb,
Yeah.
but they're very, their standards are very high when it comes to the images that you add and stuff like that. So I think it's just it's almost like a curated experience. I feel like if I'm looking through properties, it's going to be, it's vetted, it's okay. I can take it at face value, what I'm going to get.
It's not like a Facebook Marketplace kind of situation.
Exactly, 100%, right? It's not like there are a lot of other ones that are really not good. I mean, they're not great. So I don't know. I think it's that kind of stamp of approval of being listed on Airbnb that you get. And then I also think it's a matter of, for me, some people would browse cars, some people would browse handbags or something. For me, I would much rather like go and travel, or go and just stay in a cool place or have an experience. So I'm like more experience driven. I'm happy to work for that. Other stuff. So I think it's a what's important to you type of thing as well. Um, but I think yeah, I don't know. I love browsing. What do you think,
Yeah,
Scott?
I mean they've got such a sorry, I'm jumping in. Like a high focus on the actual images. Like if you look at how much screen space each thing has, the images are most important kind of thing.
Yeah, I think for me, when I book, I always go and look for the superhost tag. For me,
Same.
that's top tier stay. You know, it's going to be clean. You know, it's going to be safe. And you almost just believe it, even though you have
Yes.
nothing that backs it up from just photos. I mean, you've never been there before. You go to a different city or town or whatever, different province, and you trust it enough to go and stay in a room. I think people spent a lot of time in the past vetting hotels and bed and breakfasts and stuff, and it was very difficult to build up that trust factor, um, to know that you can go stay in the Southern Sun in Joburg and you're going to get value for your money. Um, but with Airbnb, a simple tag like that just it proves itself once, and then with the review aspect that comes in, where the host reviews and you review, it builds up that trust factor almost instantly. It's easy to trust.
I mean, I can attest to something like that where we had to arrange a party. It was actually for Renee, and we decided we're going to go and stay in like an apartment in the middle of the city in Joburg, and it was in Commissioner Street, which was can be considered kind of maybe slightly unsafe, right? Maybe slightly. And just I booked an Airbnb, and it's almost as if by booking the Airbnb, doesn't matter where it was, doesn't matter about the surroundings and things. It almost like was this will be fine, and it was incredible. It was such an amazing experience. But it's almost as if the fact that it was an Airbnb listing and that you got all these reviews and you got other people speaking on the listing and saying, yeah, this was amazing, this was great. They it felt great to be there. They were so relaxed or whatever. That was awesome, and it almost like gave it the thumbs up, and it was awesome. So it's weird. It's weird how that trust, as you say, Scott, kind of the trust factor is major.
So I think that's like a combination of social proof, of brand recognition, brand equity, um, and then just like quality UI and UX design. Like it's so easy to find anything. Like I just tapped on these filters up here, and you know what you want to do. Do you want to go and stay somewhere, experience something, or do it remotely? And filter down where you want to go. The dates are simple to follow. Check in, check out how many people are going, and
We're
then
not
you
seeing
get
your
this.
screen as well. I'm just saying.
What?
We're not seeing
Am I
your
not?
screen. Oh, you
Am I
might have a
not?
different tab, dude.
I've
We
been
can still
tapping
see your
away.
Airbnb.
Yeah, we just see an Airbnb.
Okay, let me stop, and then I'm gonna reshare.
Because the filters are, I want to, like, they're really good.
Ooh,
Okay. Ooh,
that was just like ding, 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 ding,
Inception
ding.
skull there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think what I was trying to get at is like the filters are super easy to follow, and whatever information you input, you then get super curated and high quality images, and like that aspect of that social proof. So everything in the process backs each other up and like adds to the experience, and nothing like subtracts from it, um, from a superficial level.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was some great methods. If you click into
I
a
like
list,
looking at the map view as well. It's my favorite when I know like the area I'm going.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to know why this place is 160K. I want to know that that level of design and like quality, or definitely need that for some of these places.
That's per month though.
Mm.
And it's for six
Interesting that it's
guests,
giving it.
Six people, yeah.
Yeah.
2 bedrooms though.
Okay.
Oh, still pretty steep. Where is this?
It's in Saudi.
Oh, that's just the poor rand. The weak rand or so. Yeah.
And you've
Oh,
only got
goodness.
16 hours to book to scrape together 160,000 rand.
It's all
I got a
for
go
you.
bag in the car. Yeah.
There's no smoke alarm.
Yeah, it's a wood. It's like looks like a wooden spot, and there's no smoke alarm. I feel like for 160K, you need everything. I want a fire truck parked outside.
Phil, go to the map view, please. If you don't mind.
No problem. Which country?
Where do you guys want to go?
Everywhere.
I'm just zooming in.
Yeah, Belgium looks good.
Oh, yeah. Good. So select one.
Just
Or select,
one place.
click one. So where's that view where it had where it opens up like it used to have like a sidebar and
A
put the
list,
map on
yeah.
one side.
I found that kept on changing quite a bit. Yes, that's a big map.
And if you go
That's
show
a
list,
big
that
image.
just flip to the list.
So
Oh, here we go. Show list. Oh no, never mind. So they now got 2 dedicated views. I like the sidebar where you could click between listings and it updates on the map where they were.
Maybe do a search quickly. Maybe do a real search, like search for Belgium. But
Yeah, that's changed.
There we go.
there we go. That's where it's at. Yeah. Huh.
Wait, how did you get there?
You have to do an actual search.
And then it updates when you scroll on the map.
So they must bunch them in the list by location as well. So whatever's close, so it kind of moves together.
Yeah, so it would, as far as I understand, it would show in the list whatever I'm looking at on the map.
Oh, here's a button. Yeah, top left,
Yeah.
show list.
But was
You
that there?
couldn't see.
No, I don't think that was there.
I don't think I was
I
there.
don't think it was there either. There was a button down here, show list. And
Yeah,
then
it's
that
almost
takes you to
toggle.
the different, yeah. That's another inconsistency.
Yep.
Keep it in one place.
And I'm sure it also used to just be kind of like a list, not a like card list.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so. It felt like it was thinner on one side.
So this is chunky.
I do also like that toggle at the top that says show full price. Show the full yeah. Like
With
for me that
with that size, I kind of assume a lot of people had complaints. Like
Yeah.
you can't miss that button.
yeah, it's quite hectic. Biggest toggle ever.
What does this change? It just takes
It'll
away the
show
per
the
night. Because I mean the total price is displayed. This just hides the per night, technically.
yeah.
I'm also curious as to why we have to worry about taxes. Surely that's the owner's responsibility. So
Oh no. Welcome to America.
it's your property, your taxes.
No, this is tax this is what you pay, then you get added
Yeah,
tax
like that.
on top of that.
Oh, okay. I can kind of get that.
Yeah. So yeah, that is different. So everything you see the price of, when you get to the place that you pay, then you get smacked with the taxes on top of it.
I'd be so grumpy all the time. Like, oh wow, check this thing. I could get oh, okay, I guess. Oh yeah. I'd forget that it's a thing. I'd just be whacked all the time.
You just get whacked
So
all the time.
I don't know why angels are trying to visit me at the moment. Apologies. Like, Jesus. So they're like, hey, come. I'm like, no, I'm not ready. Wait, let me finish this call.
I thought it's because of the UFO thing. I thought maybe there's some activity.
It could be. It
Like-
could be. They're just parking outside here, going, okay, come now.
They just saw you
You asked.
searching Airbnb for UFO sightings, so they're like, hey,
Yeah.
That's your Airbnb Uber. That's what the U stands for in UFO, by the way.
brilliant.
Cool.
Funny.
And does anybody have anything else to add to Airbnb, or do you want to look at it in a different example?
Yeah, let's go on.
What are we gonna look at?
I think there's some ideas in that channel. Hold on, I'm just opening it. Cam, you had
Night Cafe Studio.
yeah.
It was just a different take on using AR and sort of
Oh, nice.
community rather than just using a tool, which I quite liked.
So I'm gonna
That's cool.
share now.
Let's see.
Night Cafe AR art.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Ooh,
might have
nice.
decided. But yeah, they just
Oh,
had
good.
a
I need
different
to sign up.
take on it, and like you get 5 credits every day, but you get an email sent to you to remind you to go on, and so it kind of encourages you to keep coming back. And then they've also got challenges every day, like a different prompt, so that you almost like encouraged to create stuff. And then there's voting, and you'll get credits again for voting. And yeah, so it's just very different.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I do get sometimes frustrated with what Skulk just experienced, and that it tells you, cool, do this thing. Oh, but you also have to sign up in order to do it. I'm like, no, tell me that first. Don't gorilla me with a sign-in.
I'll sign up. So.
I already did. I just didn't want you guys to see my details. No, I'm kidding. I was getting a bit anxious about where to click and stuff. Don't want you to see me having a bad time.
You're gonna get some email saying, "Hey, listen, you can't be making AI things like that. We've reported your account." Like, what? I didn't even do anything.
Cool. Yeah, I see the daily challenge. Explore
Yeah.
features, get inspired. What I don't see is a exit
Across,
button.
I haven't overanalyzed the actual,
That sounds like the present. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's analyze.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
I feel like I kind of need to commit to something to do anything else. Okay.
Yeah.
That's life, Skulk. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
There's an interesting thing about dark mode I'm experiencing at the moment is that I'm actually as useful as I think dark mode is. It's sometimes difficult to figure out what you got to focus on because everything has contrast now. Like I'm like, where am I focusing for this? There's a done there. There's a claim it now. There's cards at the bottom. There's these things in the middle. There's actions on the left. Is it? And sometimes I've like there's a calendar app that I'm using now that they've got a line to divide the hours by. It looks fine contrast wise in light mode, but in dark mode it's just too light. So I actually have to like squint at my computer to see, and it's like a small contrasting thing that irritates me, and I never know what the depth is of things because shadows don't exactly work well in dark mode. Anyway,
Yeah.
tangent, but
So interesting enough, I don't know if I was just being stupid, but I was trying to create something and I was almost expecting something to pop up for me to start entering my prompt, and it's been on the left hand side this whole time and I just never noticed it.
Yeah, it's not the greatest interface. It almost seems like, I don't know, dated. Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like old games.
Yeah.
This was also interesting, like with the preset styles, I think it just adds something to your actual text prompt. Oh, I can't remember what setting I was in, but
this gives me like you guys remember Imgo or Imjo or however you pronounce it? There's like an old image storage, online image storage thing. It's kind of like Tumblr, but not. This UI gives me that vibe where it died in the mid 2000s, I think.
Yeah, it's like news feed on both sides of the screen.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we could compare this to like, what is it, Adobe Firefly, and that just seems way more
that's so
intuitive.
much nicer than this, yeah. I think the only different thing was more the community based. So yeah, it was interesting.
Have you signed up for this, Skulk?
No, I haven't.
I think Cam has. I think I have an.
Do one of you want to share?
Just checking. I think I got added from the beta. No, my internet's slow. Okay, yeah, I did.
Diane, you're in dark mode. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, internet's so slow, light is having a hard time escaping.
I was going to ask if everybody like switched off their cameras while I was sharing my screen, but I see it's because of internet.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So apparently I was doing a prompt for popcorn that it saved somehow. But like, let's try start again. Cam, is it only text effects?
No. Maybe scroll down.
Sorry.
I think it was that first.
But like, yeah, it's kind of like funneling us really a lot better than the other one. It was just like that one was like all over.
So Firefly is also just to generate art or scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
But then like it's kind of like step by step.
I really do like how they've got more intuitive stuff on the side rather than having to
so like here's the editing.
You need to know what you.
It's a bit more focused.
Yeah, definitely.
And an interesting, like, I think cultural UX is that I think we expect it to be on the right as opposed to the left. I think we're often quite used to that. So, like the Adobe software, a lot of your toolbar items are on the right, and Figma, your tools that you use are on the right. Got your layers on the left, maybe, which was a slight adjustment when I started using Figma. But the controls being on the right and my hand on the right, obviously that's just a hand thing. But to me, that feels more natural. I'd expect to be able to control things there more than on the left.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a Western thing, though, for the most part.
But it's like you would be writing with are you right-handed? You'd be writing or drawing right-handed and you'd be holding the paper with this hand. So it's always like this is more like spatial stuff. and this is more like cooling stuff.
Yeah, it's almost you could equate it to like if back in the day when I was drawing pencil on paper, those ancient archaic ways, I'd have my page in front of me, but because I'm right-handed, my tools would be on my right. I wouldn't go over my page to get tools. I'd just go there.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why it's more natural, is that I just go there for my tools, as opposed to having to reach over in a sense, which is technically what my mouse is doing, going over the screen. So
Yeah.
maybe that again, like that could also just be like a what would you call that? A hand, like I don't want to call it a dominance thing. That sounds weird, but it's a hand dominance thing. So that's that. But I just think it's quite interesting. I remember writing a thing about UX and UI in different cultures, and one of the things that always stood out was like, go look at restaurants that are in multiple countries, and like McDonald's is a great example. Is that the way things are laid out is very different, because culturally we focus on maybe different things, and our eyes track to different parts of the page, and kind of also in Eastern cultures you tend to go from right to left instead of left to right as a progression. So it's interesting to kind of take that into account. I'd wonder if websites like this, if the geolocation is in a different country, does it swap to the other side? I don't know. You could probably VPN it and test it.
Yeah, very specific countries. Like I once worked with someone from Israel, and everything had to be swapped around on the website. It's so difficult to get into that kind of mindset. I don't know how you would work with that if you want to just flip it, from the one to the other. I mean, never mind dark and light mode. Good luck with that. It's that's tough, very tough.
Yeah, it's like a completely different UX.
I've got a UX that is pretty terrible in my opinion. I know we are getting close to the end of it, but we have started adding like stuff to a wish list for when we get to the UK, and Amazon is available there. And I find it like super
Do not get me
difficult.
started on Amazon.
Oh, let's get started.
I am so frustrated trying to find things and prices and wish list buttons and stuff. So this is a difficult one for me.
The site sucks so bad.
It sucks, yeah.
But if you get the app,
It's better.
oh my goodness.
Even so, Ryan and I actually got Amazon Prime Video recently, and it like changes every single convention, like where you normally you would like double tap to expand to full screen. No, it doesn't have that feature. Just various. We have like Netflix, we have Disney Plus, YouTube. All of those follow the same patterns, and Amazon Prime's like, no, we're gonna do this differently.
yeah. We're gonna be innovators. No, just don't. You don't have to innovate everything.
Yeah.
Why do you think the reason is
so big?
Yeah, what do you think the reason is why they haven't updated something like this? Do you think they just make enough money that they don't care about that, or?
Yeah.
I would. The pessimist in me says yes. Yeah, and you might also find that part of it is because the site is so massive, and the databases are so big that their teams just go, it's not worth trying to change. We can maybe try and tweak small things, but to do a large overhaul, the dev might go, what? How do I relink that? Because I imagine if you were to redo this, you'd want to do it from the ground up, and start with the UX and just really give it a full makeover. And you'll probably, I wouldn't be surprised if the reason is because it's just too big.
I think we're underestimating the amount of data that these guys work with. And also, I think there's nothing on here that hasn't been put in that place because of let's just do this. It's probably there because a bazillion other people find it there and use it there. it's hard for
Yeah,
me to
maybe.
think that they just went, "Oh, we don't care, we make enough money." I think it's all geared towards making money, and they've got so much data. Also, the other thing is, I don't know, here anyway, people don't use those apps and things on their computers. They use it on their TVs, like on their screens, right? On So it's all, if you can use it from a remote control, like from your TV remote, that's what they're geared to. Um, but yeah, I find it hard to think that they just went out and did something because they don't care. I think it's all very specifically engineered to be the way that it is. And I mean, I think there's some stuff to take from it, and obviously some stuff to throw away from it, I guess, as well, because it's not exactly an oil painting. Um, the whole thing, but I don't know. It's just the scale of it and the amount of data that they have access to makes it hard for me to think that it's just based on a whim, you know.
But also just
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily that they like just don't care. I think it's more that it's like this works. We're not gonna try and make it like better. They go, okay, this is kind of, it's working for us. We're getting, and it's like the minimum viable product in a sense. It's working. We don't really want to invest too much in changing it,
I
because
think it's
maybe
changing
there's a
constantly.
risk.
I think it's changing constantly. I think it's just incremental
Maybe, yeah, that's
that
true.
we don't that we maybe just don't see it. Like, that'll be interesting to
Mm,
see.
I was gonna
Um,
say it's also like people are familiar with the fact as it exists.
mm,
So I don't know if they are just minor tweaks, but they don't want to shift too much because then they'll get complaints of where's this
yeah.
moved to and whatever. Like, people are used to the system.
Mm,
I don't
I
know.
will say it's exactly that. Like, you get so familiar with it. I mean, uh, I bought so much stuff on it. Oh well, I even now it's so easy. It's literally put it in your cart and check out. It's a two tap buying experience, which is insane. If you think like every time you buy something online or on an app or whatever, it's not that easy. This is the fastest buying experience I've had in my whole life. Like you go, add to basket, confirm, done. In 2 hours, it's at your doorstep. That's insane. It's like,
Yeah, that's where they win. The delivery is
mm.
good.
yeah, they
Yeah.
But
they
it's also weird because like we recently got bought off of I think it was Eve Tech's website. So like they sell HP laptops, all sorts of like PC stuff. I sound like such an Apple snob. Like they sell, the PC things. But we needed to get my sister a new laptop, and we were like, well, Take a Lot's cool. I love Take a Lot. I think it's simple. I've used them for years. Their returns are easy, but a lot of that is because of experience, and like I have that loyalty and trust in the service. But when we looked up Eve Tech, we were like, okay, we're going to look up Hello Peter. We're going to look up all the reviews. We need to check everything because we're going to dump a wad of cash into this place. We need to know we're going to get our product. And
Yeah.
like there were one or two points during the checkout flow where I was like, it didn't do what I expected it to do, and I immediately like kind of clamped up, going, I don't know about this, and I'm like, I don't want to do it, and like, should we go through it? Let me look at see other deals somewhere else, and was like, there was a small thing for me that wasn't familiar. I was suddenly skeptical that they were going to scam me, which was my own like reflection I had to make, was that actually that's not the case. But that this is a new kind of place to get something from, and like trying to get communication and all those kinds of things. But a lot of my hesitancy to doing it was the fact that it didn't have a very user friendly design, and that made me quite scared to actually go through with it.
yeah.
Now it worked and it was fine, The communication could have been better, but if for the most part it did its job. But there's still there was that I don't know if I'd go back. Like I'm just kind of scared.
Yeah.
It's
I guess it
interesting.
comes back to the Airbnb thing, right? It's that
Yeah.
trust.
Mm,
Like it
Yeah.
looks solid. Looks like these people got some people to build it, not like, there's been some
There's a
investment.
quality assurance.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. So if you design good looking stuff, people trust you.
That's the
More
plan,
likely to,
and
yeah.
that's what happened.
Should we end it on that?
Let's do it.
Well, thanks guys. This has been
Cool.
fun.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
It's fun.
Cool. Cheers.
Bye bye.